I just wanted to share a little bit of the development process for an app that hopefully will allow users to manipulate drum sounds, drum breaks, and music in real time using a controller on your desktop or console or whatever platform. So it's really basic, and it's sort of inspired by using this Polygon tracker recently, and it's awesome. I love it. I think even more than like an MPC and the one I had before, it was the Deluge. And so far, I'm liking that more. There's a few things I wish it did differently, but this is sort of more of a performance thing, just just to have fun with something that's casual. Anyone can mess with it, and yeah, just basically press a bunch of buttons and get like a groove going, in whatever style, and just sort of have fun with it. It could morph into something more, but for now, I just thought, hey, why not share some of the development process behind it, since I'm going to be using Unity's game engine and using, for now, PlayStation or PS4 controller, and yeah, just C# and some of the tools and things that are already built into Unity, such as there's an asset called Rewired that allows you to relatively easily map the input of a controller to actions that the game engine will execute. So right now, this is sort of the template that I'm using to sort of learn how this thing is actually going to work. And the idea is that we're going to basically have some sort of a very minimal sequencer with that allows you to play 4 samples, in real time, and just loop it, and then you can use the buttons to sort of manipulate the things. But what I love are like drum breaks, sampling and chopping up drum breaks, and making rap songs and stuff out of that. And this is sort of something that might be able to use to record some stuff, perform some things, and get some unique sounds that would be you could definitely get with other tools, but this probably hopefully would be really easy to get something that kind of gets the creative juices flowing and stuff. But so this is sort of the controller layout, and basically the idea is you don't play anything on the controller. You don't actually press a button to trigger a sample or whatever. You could totally allow for that. I've already tested the latency and stuff, based on the project settings, audio, the DSP buffer size, and things like that. And it could definitely support just real time, sort of like using an MPC with the pads and banging out a beat with your fingers. You could totally do that, but it just doesn't feel quite right. The controller's not really made for that. But what I think is cool about it is, just engaging, basically. So the way that this is going to work is that you hold down a button, and then using the opposite stick of the button, manipulate the sound that that button represents. So in this case, hold down like the kick, and then using the left stick, pitch up the kick, pitch it down, make it softer, make it louder. So really basic on that side. And then you have a kick, snare, hi-hat, sound effects. Now for the right stick and the D-pad, this is a little bit different, where the D-pad represents all of the sounds, the kick, the snare, the hi-hat, and the sound effects. It represents everything, so it modifies everything on that side. So and I'm just calling it a track, basically. And a track in the Unity engine would map to a group, or like in your DAW, it would be a bus. So so basically 2 tracks, and those 2 tracks map to the shoulder buttons. So track 1 would have a kick, snare, hi-hat. Those sounds are mapped to this group, and then track 2 will be mapped to this group. And it's more apparent up here in the hierarchy and the inspector, where track 1 has some code here that kind of get into that, but track 1 has 4 audio sources. Right now we have a pool of audio sources, and the output is mapped to the track 1 in the audio mixer. And so yeah, so that's sort of the layout and how this is going to sort of work. The goal right now is a couple of things. So I've already started coding some things, and there's basically a couple of concepts as far as the D-pad and the right stick. This is where the really complicated stuff happens. The hi-hat, snare, kick, and the left stick, that's already that's pretty simple, and that's sort of coded here. And basically you just hold down the button and then move the left stick, and it does something. Basically it changes the pitch or the volume, so nothing crazy. As far as the D-pad and the right stick, there are so what's really involved is modifying Unity's. Already has some awesome built-in effects, by the way. There's so many cool things in here, but basically the idea is if you enable echo, so it's right now it's broken down by the effect, the actual effect. It doesn't have to be this way. It could be by it could be tone. Like we could, the up on the D-pad could be aggressive, or down could be chill, and then that D-pad and the right stick would map to various values that lean towards that sound. So aggressive, that could mean, oh, if I press up on the right stick, it means more compression, more distortion, higher, like a bump in the EQ on the higher end, maybe no echo or whatever. So we could totally do it that way, but for now, just because they're really prototyping and just as far as getting the concept in, just breaking it down by stuff that makes sense to me, where it's by the actual type of effect. So echo, reverb, pitch, EQ. And the goal is when you modify an effect, so you press up on echo and move the stick a little bit and then let go of the D-pad, it holds that effect. It just keeps that effect going. So you don't have to constantly be pressing buttons and holding values and things. You can just set it, let it go for a while, go back to it, whatever, and then in real time you might have some cool things. But we'll see how it goes. It might not end up working out that way. But code wise, as far as I've already mapped out some exposed parameters here. So just starting with like echo, and you can see by you can tell because it has this little arrow, meaning that it's an exposed parameter. So delay, decay, dry, wet mix, and actually I don't like, for now I'm just not going to mess with the decay. So we'll just have, you know what, let's keep it really simple. Dry mix, let's make it always 100%. Wet mix, sure, we'll mess with wet mix and the length of the delay. Just keep it simple. So so basically what we need is, for each 4 directions of the stick, up, down, left, right, we need a collection or a set of values for each of the 2 exposed parameters that maps to each of those directions. So I basically just came up with this where is that? Here. So this scriptable object, which is the controller stick, it represents the 4 directions of a stick, and then the actual map is this scriptable object, which is basically the name of the exposed parameter, which would be like track 1 echo wet mix. That would be a name. And then the min and max values of, track 1 echo wet mix, the min and max values as they are remapped to the values of the stick. So rewired will, when you move the stick, the values will be between like 0 and 1 for going in the middle. Up, that's 0 to 1. Down would be 0 to -1. So what we need to do is, when we do the remapping, that whatever the minimum value is going to be at the middle, and then the max value at the top. So it allows you to set a range of where the values are going to be for this, the value on the effect here. But I've already sort of started with that. So I have this echo controller stick map. So this is for the echo effect, and it has 4 slots for up, down, left, right. So click up, and then for the moving up on the stick, all we're going to modify is the track 1 echo delay, and the min and max. So if the stick is all the way up, it's going to be 200. If it's in the middle, it's 10. But for just fun, well, let's get another one. So we have the wet mix. So let's just say, what is this? Up. Let's say wet mix. Let's change this. Let's say that if you move up on the stick, the wet mix, let's say the minimum is 50 and the max is 100. And then I think on like down, down, let's make the min 0 and the max 25. Yeah, so it's just whatever values could be here. But I think when you see this, it's like, oh yeah, you could already just, the actual parameters here, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be for the echo, but yeah, I broke it down by the effect type here, which I'm actually not, the more I think about it, the more I'm not really liking it. But so the other thing that I wanted to do, and actually for this, is just whenever I press a button, I just want the font to sort of highlight so that I can see, visually what's happening real time. And when I demonstrate this or whatever, if I record it or something, I want to know what the heck visually is going on. So where I'm at now is setting up some sort of UI hook into this, and basically I'm just keeping this really, really simple. So I've kind of started this with this class of having slots for every echo, pitch, EQ, reverb, for every button. Kick, snare, hi-hat sound effects. SFX, okay, and then just get all of these in here. Track of right. Okay. So, all right. So what we actually want to do, I don't know why I erased it, but we want to know not only when a button is pressed, but what that value is. So we've got code. So as far as how this works is there is a sequencer here. Right now it's just up in this corner, but it doesn't actually really work. But the idea is that the app will play a preset pattern for one measure, and it's going to basically loop that measure over and over. And in that measure, you can specify where or when a sound should play, when a kick should play, a snare, hi-hat, sound effect. And you know, the way that visually, the way it looks right now is it's broken up into these horizontally 4 quarter note lengths. So at 95 beats per minute, or around 90 some beats per minute, the way the sound would be like, so this is a kick here, snare here, sound effect here, and hi-hat up at the top. It would be boom, tss, clack, tss, boom, boom, clack, tss, boom. So, and code-wise, it's for the way that this works is it's represented as, since we know the length of the measure and how long it is for each BPM using basically this this math here, right here. That's the duration of 4 quarter notes. And since we know that, then all we have to do is determine, oh, when every time we loop through this measure, when should we play a kick? And as far as specifying it, it's when should we play it, represented in a value between 0 and almost 1, meaning this red square here is 0, this red square here is at the halfway point, so 0.5, and then this would be 0.625, and so that's represented as notes here. So this is sort of like if you had your a DAW or something and you had a measure, you would see where everything lines up. And yeah, so basically, so one of the cool things is we could totally just add some code to quantize stuff, but you could drift, you could have this kick just slightly off a little bit, give it a more loose feel, or have the kick come in late. There's a lot of songs that are, playing live, it's definitely like that, but you could sort of visually see how this looks like kick on the first beat, on the half, and then right there. So this would be boom, 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 and then same with the snares, like the opposite, the hi-hat, expand these, so boom, tss, 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 tss. So that's basically, visually you can see like one measure of what that looks like in the editor here, which is kind of cool, but that's not coded yet, like specifying when things should play, but we'll definitely get that in there for sure. And yeah, so back to what we were working on with the UI thing, we just want to know when something was hit, and then for now just make the text a little bit brighter. So if I press down this track 1 button, then the text font color will go from here to like that to 255 or white. So just to know when something is pressed, some sort of feedback when something is pressed. So just I'm gonna have to basically update some code here. So I think at the sample level, or here, these 4 buttons here, I think we've already got it pretty much specified when a button is pressed. And actually, it's not just when it's pressed. We want the value, especially for an axis, like, you know, the stick here. We want the actual value between 0 and 1, and not just that it was moved. So and it looks like this is already in here. So pitch axis. If we look here, pitch up and down is the left stick up and down. We get the value, and it's exposed here, or we can get the value here. So that's fine for the kick, snare, sound effects, hi-hat. So if we were to get that in our little UI thing here, we need is it sample? Yeah, kick, snare, hi-hat, FX. So these, I'll just make these simple, kick. These should also text. All right, so then it's basically, no. So we're gonna change the color. So we'll do this. So the color is always going to default color, and then color. Oops. Let's do min color minus color. Default stuff. Moved. All right. So every frame, we're just going to learn between the colors and the values. So it just it'll update every frame. And just don't worry about it yet for as far as performance or whatever. But so kick text color is going to equal color. So this color. Now, so for the kick, we just need to know when. How are we going to know it's down? So let's just do this. It's active if. Oops, sorry. Oops. If that is not 0 and that is not 0, not active. Let's say if it's pressed. Since the button is just going to be between, it's either going to be 0 or 1. It's not going to be. And we could have definitely just got the. You know what? Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Let's keep it simple. So here, we'll just return this. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. All right. So now here in the UI, we just know. It's pressed or not. Do we want it to be smooth or just automatic? Let's just make it automatic. Oops. Refactor this. Sample is pressed. There we go. Now, set for these. Handle sample button. So kick. Kick text. Or snare. Snare text. Hi-hat. Hi-hat text. Sound effects text. Okay. All right. So if we'll probably just test this. So let's make a controller. Just keep it separate. So mint color. Let's make it like that. Max color, like that. All right, let's get kick, snare, little hi-hat, sound effect. And then we need kick text. So it's going to be kick. I can't, it's hard to snare. Hi-hat, sound effects. All right, I think that's all I really care about for the moment. Yeah, so hopefully if I replay it, press down the kick, the text is going to highlight. And since we already have, like, I think this actually does work. Okay, so the effect is already working, but okay, there we go. Kick, snare, hi-hat, sound effects. So let's stop this. Now, since we're almost got this part wrapped up, let's do sort of something similar here. Do it. Should we do it like this? Pitch EQ. And then we'll just do this code is already was already written before we started recording. All this code does here is basically watch for when the echo button on the D-pad is pressed. So that's this line of code here. If it is pressed, then basically this function takes the value of the right stick, which is right here. So the X and Y value, and it just passes it here. And so basically with this, now I can tell, oh yeah, the echo button was pressed, and what was the value of the stick when the echo button was pressed. And that's how we're going to use that's what we're going to use to light up the text on this side. So there's just 4 of these functions that deal with this. Probably could be refactored, but so all right. So now we're going to know when these buttons are pressed. So I wonder if does this do like a function or something? I thought I could like do a setter and getter or something. Let's just do public. Is EQ. All right, and then we also need to get let's do stick X. Dang it. Well, let's just do this. Let's get past there. Whatever. We'll get this cleaned up. Could be a vector too. That's the right way to do it. Let's just keep going here. All right. So in the UI here, let's do we'll do one track. So how this would be dang it, I wish I didn't do it this way, but it's okay. Echo. Did I not? Oh, it's called track. reverb is pitch. Pitch. Q. So that's the buttons. Track 1. We're not going to worry about the other track. And then the stick. Oh man. Let's see. Do we care if it's pressed or not? No. All we care about is so what is this? Track effect. Oh, okay. So let's do it like this. Color equals. We're just gonna, because it could constantly be changing in any frame. We're gonna just min color, max color, and it's going to be based on the track 1. But the color is going to have to be between 0 and 1. So what's actually going to happen is the track effect up is going to be wait, what did I? Oh, get this. I'm the worst at naming functions and stuff. So up, we're going to get the Y value, but the but yeah. Sorry. But this is actually not right. This, because the Y. Yeah, it's fine. Do I want to do it that way? I think I need. That's what I really want to do. So up, down. So we're basically remapping the full axis value of -1 to 1. But on the up, we only want it to be, oh, is that what we want to do? No, that's not what we want to do. Clamp. We only care if the stick is going up. We don't care if it's going in the opposite direction. So I think clamp down, left, right, up, down. Oops, -1, 0, left, -1, 0, X, X. I think that's what we want. But then also we want this left. Pitch up, pitch down, low volume, right volume, pitch up, pitch down. So this is going to be oh, this is actually because the only way we know is actually through the sample right now. We don't have sort of a base controller class to handle all input. So meaning that there's four, the axis of this, the left stick, there's four different, it's basically listened to 4 times, whether or not that value was input. But we could do it here. Like, do you care if no button is pressed and you push up? Yeah, you do. Let's see what this, does this work? No, dang it. No, that was right. That was right, but I don't care about that. Pitch. Track effect is what I want. Track effect. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't rename these. Gotta always name. Yeah, I see. Kinda got lazy. Alright, there we go. So now, yeah, this is not correct. This is actually that. That's pitch up. This is pitch down. Low volume. High volume. Up. Down. Left. Right. And track 1. Okay. I don't have anything. So track effect left and down. I guess I didn't. Yeah, this is the remat part. This has to be remat. That's correct. Oh no, no. No, this one's fine. Where's this one? Colors only go between 0 and 1. Okay. Or the alert. So now all 4 of these, up, down, left, right, should work. No, it doesn't. What did I mess up here? Get the value. Oh, wait. Down, yeah. -1. Well, I don't think I need this, but no. Clamped. Yeah, no. This is not right. Because at 0, it's going to be, what am I, it's, no, God, it's just backwards. So it's actually, just not thinking. Take the hi-hat out. Get these back. Alright. Kind of works, but I gotta refactor this. I'm gonna try to get all the input just on the track and then just make it easier. But yeah, I gotta take a break.